Hello everyone, welcome to the new Next.js course. In this particular course, we are going to talk about the Next.js in complete depth. So make sure that you follow this particular course till the end and make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to keep getting updated with all the new videos of our channel, right? So let's start. So in this particular first video, we are going to talk about the theory part of Next.js, that what is Next.js, what are the problem with the React.js, why we need to shift to the Next.js, what are the properties and the features that it provides, and what are the type of renderings and routing are available in Next.js, right? So let's start, let's begin. So we are on the documentation of Next.js. So you can refer this documentation at your own. I bought you my own notes, right, to make the things more clear and easy to read, right? Okay, so here you can see it is written on the top that what is Next.js. So yes, what is Next.js? Is it something other or a new technology or something else? Yes. So Next.js is basically a framework, right? It is a framework of React.js. So if you don't know a React.js till now, so I'll recommend you to go and learn the basics of React.js before learning or going to the Next.js, right? Because it is very important that you have this understanding. So Next.js is a React framework, right, which is used to build the modern web applications, and it extends the React by adding features that are not available in React by default. Means this Next.js is adding features, more features which was not directly or by default provided by the React.js, will now be available in the Next.js to you, right? So Next.js help you to build fast websites, SEO friendly applications, and full stack apps with a single code base. Means you do not need to write the backend separately, front end separately, and everything other, right? You can do everything at a single code base and you build your complete full stack apps, right? Okay, so React is responsible for building the user interface, while Next.js provide you the structure, performance optimization, backend capabilities, everything at a single space. So that's why Next.js is getting so much popular among the developers. Fine. So why Next.js is needed? So what were the limitations with the React.js which we are uh, using commonly, right? So but the problem with the React app was that the pages are rendered only in the browser, and the search engine initially receives the empty HTML, right? So basically in the client side React app, the server send the minimal HTML without the content, and the UI is rendered later using the JavaScript. So search engine initially receives the empty HTML. So this was the one of the limitation of the React app, and the routing requires external libraries like Axios, Fetch, these all things, right? And the backend API must be built separately. So if you have any ever worked on a complete full stack application, so you may have understanding that we build the backend folder separately, front end folder separately, and then we do the integration part and all. But here you can build the backend APIs, uh, like you don't need to build the backend APIs now separately. I will talk about this, but this is the limitation of the React.js application which we are traditionally using, right? That you have read these things, but how Next.js solve this problem? This is the main point, right? So basically Next.js provide you the server side rendering for better SEO. That means you can write the server side code on the same code base, right? It provides you the file based routing. File based routing means that you don't need to write the complete route, that slash admin slash user slash v1, all these things. No, now with the help of the folders, right, with the help of the files, you can simply do the routing part. Built-in API routes, you get the built-in API routes here. Automatic performance optimization is provided to you, right? So this makes the development faster and production ready by default. Got it? Now what are the key features? Just read it at your own. That it provide you file-based routing, server-side rendering, static site generation, incremental site static regeneration, server component, built-in API support, image optimization, very important, right? Easy deployment, you can simply deploy it on anything like Vercel or Render or AWS, anywhere, right? So comparison to the React application, it is quite more easier to deploy. Fine. So if you have not understood any of the point here, don't worry, with the ongoing course you will understand everything in depth. So let's move forward. So types of rendering, it is very important for your exams, so at least have this on your tongue, that what are the types of rendering available. So first rendering is your client side rendering that you do for the front end part. Server side rendering, right? That's your backend part, basically. Static side generation, this is the HTML which is generated at the build time. And incremental static regeneration, which is the static page which is updated after the deployment, right? The static pages which when you deploy the application, then only you basically these pages get updated, right? So this is your incremental static regeneration. Fine. Now prerequisites to learn the Next.js. What are the prerequisites? So basically, if you are starting this Next.js course, you must have the understanding of HTML and CSS basics, right? Or I say that practice a lot, right? HTML CSS is the base. It is a, you can say as the, it is a roof on which you will build your building, right? So basically, at least have a good command in HTML CSS, right? Then there comes the JavaScript, the most important thing, most important part, right? So JavaScript fundamental should be strong, and you have understanding of the basic React components, right, and their hooks. So if you have this understanding, then you can move forward with the Next.js, right? Along with that, make sure that you have Node.js installed on your system, right? And npm or yarn package manager should also be installed. If you want to check, just open the what we say, that the terminal on your system, and write the node/v and npm-v. By writing this, you will get the version. If you are getting the version, that means you have your Node.js and npm installed. Not, if not installed, then you can simply go and install it from the browser, right? Okay, fine. Now, app router concept. So Next.js offer you two routing systems. First is pages router, and the second is app router, right? And the app router is basically the modern standard. So basically, pages router was a older thing, but app router is the new, and it is recommended to use it. We normally use this app router, right? So app router is the modern standard in the support. It supports are what, that is server components are provided, nested layout is provided, streaming is provided, improved data fetching is good, right? So these all things are done with the app routers, right? Now, what are the difference between the Next.js and React.js? You can simply say that the in React.js, for the routing we need external libraries. Here we get a built-in methods, right? SEO, if we talk about the SEO, so React has a limited option for the SEO, but it has a strong base for the SEO in the Next.js, right? Backend, so it creates a separate server for the backend. The React.js creates a separate server, and in Next.js we have a built-in APIs. And rendering, so we get the client side only, and here we get multiple strategies in the Next.js. Got it? Okay, fine. Now, common beginner mistake. Kindly know these mistake and don't try to repeat it while learning this Next.js course. So first thing is that treating Next.js as a replacement for React. Don't learn it as a replacement. Learn it as a new technology. Learn it for your ease, and learn it as a way to get more advanced with the development, right? Ignoring the server components, don't ignore the server component while learning the Next.js. Many people just start learning Next.js and stop after learning the front end part only, and they forgot or leave the server components and learning that part, right? So you need to have complete understanding and knowledge. So be stay with the particular course till the end. And overusing the client side state, right? Fixing the pages router with the app router, these kind of mistake that people normally do, right? And what are the best practices? Well, the best practices is that you should use the app router. As I told you, it is a new and the recommended thing to use the app router every time, right? Prefer server components when wherever possible, right? Keep the components simple and reusable. Don't need to just mug up or have a very complex component. Just keep the things simple. Just start making more and more components, right? And just integrate them one another, right? By that you can do it. So by this we keep the components simple and the reusable, right? Learn rendering concepts early, and use the built-in features instead of the external libraries. So basically your Next.js provide lots of built-in features, so try to use them rather than always going to the external libraries for everything like font, icon, and everything, right? Next.js provide you a lot. You need to explore it. You can refer the documentation of the Next.js if you want. And this is all about the theory part of Next.js. We will start learning about the core concept and the uh, technology, right, from the next lecture. So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to create your first Next.js app, right? So in this particular video, we are going to understand that how we do the installation part and how we install Next.js in our system, and after that, what are the files and folder that we get after the installation work, right? So here you can see I'm on the Next.js documentation, and here you will find the installation, right? So you simply need to come here, and here you will get the complete doc for the installation task. Now before starting, make sure that your system fulfill all the requirements. That is, first is that your system should have Node.js installed on it, and there should be a package manager installed on it, right? So what you need to do is just simply just go to the terminal and check that with the help of Node-v you will get a version here. If the version is visible, that means Node.js is installed, and npm-v, if this is showing you a version, that means your package manager is also installed. So make sure that these two things are installed. If not, then you should download it from your browser, right? Okay, fine. Now coming forward toward the installation task, so here you can see that create a new Next.js app named my app. You can name it whatever you want. After that, you just need to write create next app at the rate latest, right? So I'll do one thing, I'll just copy it from here, and we will go to our Visual Studio Code. I'm having a folder named Next.js tutorial, and I will go to the terminal. Let's just, so here what we will do is that we will write npm, and after that create next app at the rate latest and press enter. Right now it is asking that what is your project named. So let's take the default my app, right? You can take whatever you want as you wish, right? So let's press enter, and after that it is asking that would you like to use the recommended Next.js default? Well, I don't want that, so I will just go and ask for the customize setting. Now when I press enter, it is asking that would you like to use TypeScript? No, I don't want to use TypeScript. I'm going to use the JSX files, right? So that's why I will press no. Okay, ESLint, yes, take that. React compiler, no. Tailwind CSS, yes. And would you like your code inside a directory? No. And would you like to use app router? Yes. As I told you, it is recommended here, right? So press enter. And yes, sorry, would you like to customize the import alias? No. Fine. Now the installation process has now started. It will take some time. Let's wait for it. And you can see that my app folder is now created here. Inside of that, files are there, but packages are getting installed. So it will take a little bit of time. So let's just wait. So here, as you can see that my Next.js app is successfully installed, right? It is a success here, and yeah, done. So now what I need to do is that let's clear the screen. Okay, so here I'll do what, I'll come to my this particular folder. So I'll write here cd, and then the name of the folder, that is my app. Okay, I'm inside of it. Now after that, you just need to write here npm run dev, npm run dev, like this, and press enter. Okay, fine. So it is started now. Now here you can see that the local, for local, it is localhost 3000. Just simply click on it, and let's do one thing, let's just copy it. You can go to the direct link also, but there is one thing I want to do is that open a new browser. Right now here, when I press enter with the localhost 3000, it is taking time because our file is getting built here, right? You can see that the compilation part is on its way, and yes, you can see this is our Next.js app, right? Okay, so here you can see it is something is written here. It is basically coming from this particular file, right? The layout.js and the page.js, mainly from the page.js, of course, right? So it is a default page, right, which is provided by the Next.js. You can simply remove it as per your choice. Yeah, so you can see here, right? So this is how we install the Next.js. And now let's understand the folder and files, right? So you can see we are having a folder name app. When you go inside of it, you will find favicon.ico, which is the icon. You don't need this, right? Here you can see that we are having this page.js, right? What is this page.js? Well, it is a home page of the application, right? As I told you that the page which you are seeing here, this is the home page, right? So everything starts from here. This is a home page, right? So you understood that what is a page.js. Now when you come to the layout.js, so it shares the layout for all the pages. You will understand more about it when you start working with it, right? It is a very important page, and if you just simply just remove it, let's say, right, let's do one thing, let's delete this. If I delete this, right, now if I go to our here, so you can see that we are getting an error that is missing HTML and body tag in the root layout, right? So it is very important that you must have this layout.js file, right? Let's call it again. So it is again here, right? Okay, fine. Now global.css, what is this? Well, it is used for the global styles, right? Whatever the css that you will write inside of it will be applied globally. Fine. Okay. Now other thing here, you can see the public folder. The public folder stores the static files, right, such as images, icons, these things. Fine. And there's a git ignore, which you, when it is used when you push the code to your github, right? And other files are not very much needed to be learned, right? Like let's say that this is package.json, which hold all the scripts, right, which is shortcuts, dependencies, dev dependencies. And we are having this node module here which hold all these dependencies files. And this is the post css configuration file, this is a readme file. You can edit it, right? You can edit it as your wish, and that's it. Yeah. So this is all about that, how we create our Next.js app. We simply created it and understand that what are the files and folder which is available after the installation part. And this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hi everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we can do the routing in Next.js. So in the last lecture we understood that how we can create the Next.js app, how we install it, right? After that we understood that what the file structures are there. Now let's go to our Visual Studio Code and let's see it again. So here in the app we get the main files, which is page.js and the layout.js, right? So what I can do is that you can check from here, right? We are having some of the code here. Fine. And these code are what? These code are basically what we are seeing on the home page, right? Now if I just simply remove this div from here like this and add an empty fragment here like this. Fine. Okay. Now inside of this, what I'm going to do is that if I just write here, welcome to my channel, like this, right? Now if I just go to the my app and reload it, you can check on the top, right? Welcome to my channel. So the content get totally out, whatever was present earlier. Now if you just go to the global.css and remove everything, you can simply remove everything. You don't need that. So you can check that all the css of black screen and all also got removed from here. And one more thing we can do is that we can just delete this favicon.in, which was your Next.js logo here, right? Simply just remove that also. That's it. That's it, right? So we understood that how these files are there, how these are present, and simply just remove this import also. Fine. Now let's understand that how we can do the routing, the main part. Fine. So in Next.js, the routing are done with the help of the folders and files, right? How we can do this? Let's say that we are inside our app folder. So what you need to do is that just simply uh, do one thing, create any folder with the route that you want. Let's say that here, if I just write /about like this, if I press enter, you will find that Next.js is providing me a 404 page. That means this /about is not present, and that's why we are getting this error page. So Next.js provide you by default, right, this page. How we create it at our own, I'll explain you further in the playlist, right? But till now, the /about route don't exist. That's why we are getting this 404 here. Fine. Now how we are going to create a about route? So for that purpose, you just simply need to create a folder here. Just create a folder named about, and inside of that create a file name page.jsx like this. You can also change this also, right? You can also change this page.js of your home page, right, with page.jsx like this. No problem. If you are working with TypeScript, you can change it to page.tsx. Fine. Okay. So page.jsx, here we are, and inside of it, let's just do one thing. Let's just copy from here and paste it here and change the name to about like this. And here I am saying about page like this. Got it? Just simply save it. And now if you go to your app and simply just remove it, the default export is not a React component in. Okay, let me just reload it, and now you can check the about page is present, right? If you come to the home page, this is your home page, and if you go to slash about like this, I'm so sorry, slash about and press enter, you can see that this route is now available and you came to this about page, right? So simply we have created the routing with the help of the folder. So you simply need to create the folder of that name. Whatever the name of the folder, the route will be following that, right? And inside of that you need to create a page.jsx, and here you will create the complete page structure and everything that you want inside a page here only, right? Here only. Fine. So let's create one more route. It is easy now, yeah, it is very easy. Earlier in the React.js, we need to install the routes package, right? And here there we use routes, then route, and we use the router and all these things. But here we just need to create a folder with the name of the route and create a page.jsx inside of it and create the complete page there. That's it. Your route is simply created, right? So let's name the second is contact, right? The folder name is contact. Okay, fine. Now inside of this, just create the file name page.jsx, and here I'll paste the same, and here I'll say contact, and here we are having the contact page, right? Okay, fine. Now let's just save it and go back to our app, reload it, and here if I go to the contact now, you will find a contact page here, right? So this is how we create routing in our Next.js, right? There are few more things, that is routing. In routing we are having nested routing, we are having dynamic routing. We will understand them in the next part, but till now this is the important thing about this particular video. Now let's say that I want to move from one page to another with the help of link, right? With the help of link. So earlier in the if you remember, in the HTML and JavaScript, what we use the anchor tag. But the problem with anchor tag was that it reloads the page. Let me give you an example. Slash about, and here it is saying about, right? Now if you go to the contact page now, just a second. So here you can see I'm getting a about here, right? And when I will click on it, it is reloading the page and brought me to the about page, right? You can check. When I'll click on this about, it is simply reloading and then bringing me to this about page. So it is good, it is navigating me from one page to another. That's good, but I don't want my app to reload every time, right? So for that purpose, what we do, so earlier in the React.js we used React Router DOM, right? There we get a link, yeah, link tag. But here we don't need to install the React Router separately. We can simply use the link here as it is provided by the Next.js as a built-in function, right? Link like this. So let's just do one thing. Let's call for the link, and you can see I got the link from the next slash link here, right? And now here I have used this href. So if you remember, in the React.js we use two, right? We use to there like this. But here in the Next.js we use href, right? And now if you just simply go to your app and reload it, okay, it is on the contact page. Yes. So now here if you see, when I'll click on it, it brought me to the about page, but without loading our app, without reloading our app, right? Let me show you again. When I'll click on it, it simply brought me to the about page without reloading, right? So for that purpose, like for the navigation part, we use this link tag here, which is provided by the Next.js Addict all, right? Okay, fine. So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are learning Next.js and routing is confusing you, so don't worry, you are not alone, right? So in this particular video, we are going to understand that how nested routing in Next.js works, and we will understand it completely from the scratch, right? So by the end of this video, you will know that what nested routing means, why we need it, and how the folder structure controls routes, and a real world example also, right? Okay, so first of all, what is routing? So before nested routing, let's quickly understand the routing. So in the last lecture, I explained you that let's say that we are having our home page here, right? So in the app folder, we have this page.jsx, and this is our home page, which we see on the localhost 3000. Here you can see, right? Now, for the routing, we use these folders, right? We use these folders. So this is my about folder, and it is having a page.jsx inside of it. So when I go to this slash about here, simply I reach to this about page, right? And this about page, this content is written where? In the page.jsx, right? So with the help of the folder, we simply create the routes, and this page.jsx contains the content of that particular route, right? Okay, got it. Now nested routing means what? So let me just take you through the notes. So here it is written that nested routing means routes inside routes, right? That means child pages under a parent page. So if you take the real life example, we are having a dashboard, and inside the dashboard there's a profile, there's a setting, there's order, right? So this is your nested routing. It look like something like this, like the URL look like this, that is slash dashboard slash profile slash dashboard slash setting slash dashboard slash orders, right? So our URL look like this, and this is called your nested routing, because here you can see dashboard is common. So inside the dashboard, we are having these profiles, setting and orders, right? Okay, so this is your nested routing. Now how we create this? Well, for creating this, we simply just need to come to our basically app code, right? And here what we need to do is that we simply just create the folders here. How we create the folder? Let me show you. So inside the app, I'm going to create a dashboard example, right? So if I write here dash board like this, right? And inside this, I will create a page for the dashboard. So page.jsx. This is a page for your dashboard, right? So here, if I just copy this and paste it here like this and name it dashboard page, right? And inside the dashboard, I want profile and setting also. So if you just come here and simply just go here dashboard like this, so you will find a dashboard page here, you can see. Also you are saying that there is a issue here, right? What is this issue? This is a hydration error, right? A tree hydrated. Why this hydration error I'm getting? The problem is that I'm having a lot of extension on my browser, and anything which affect the dome of your page, right, will give you this hydration error. So if you are getting this, simply just don't worry, you can copy it and run it in your incognito mode, right? So this hydration error will be not present there, right? But if you are having some sort of extension on your browser, at that time this appears. Okay, fine. So we came to the dashboard and we saw the dashboard page here. Now if I just go here on this dashboard and then if I do the slash and if I write here profile like this, so we'll simply found that the page don't exist, right? Okay, so how we can create that? For creating this, inside this particular folder of dashboard, you create another folder. The folder name is profile like this. Now create the page.jsx file inside this profile also. So page.jsx like this, right? And now create this page, right? Okay, sorry, profile, right? Okay, not, it's not page, it's profile file. Yeah, so profile page. And also I want a setting page, setting route also. So simply just create another folder inside of it, and that is setting. Let's start with small, right? Setting. And inside of it, let's create page.jsx like this. Got it? Now after this, what I'll do is that I'll just write here setting like this. Yeah. So if you come on the dashboard, now if you write here slash profile, so you will come to this profile page now. So now the route is what? Slash dashboard slash profile. This is your nested route, right? If you come to the setting like this, so you will come to your settings page, right? This is called your what? Nested routing, right? So this is how we create the nested routing in our Next.js. Simply folder inside the folder and using this page.jsx for the content of that particular page, and that's it, right? So this is how we do the nested routing in Next.js. So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the dynamic routing. So what are this dynamic routing? Dynamic routing let one page to handle many URL. One page to handle many URL by using a variable segment. Right, let's say that we are making a blog page, right? So for a blog page there are multiple blocks, 1 2 3 4 5 6 multiple, and I don't want to create a route or a folder for every block. Like for a blog one, I don't want to create a separate folder. For blog 2 I don't want to create a separate folder. So how I can handle them? Well, I can handle them with the help of the dynamic routes. So we will understand it better when we start working on it. So let's go to the Visual Studio Code. Here you can see this is my home page, right? Home page code. And yeah, so here I'm having certain folders like about, contact, right? These are what? These are the routes. And here inside the dashboard I'm having profile and settings. So this is what? This is a nested routing. Now coming forward towards the dynamic routing. So if you come to the page.jsx, let me show you something. If I just write here props like this, right? And if I just print it like this way, like console.log props, so you will find on your console that it is giving me two important things, that is params and search params, and I'm going to use this params here to handle the dynamic routing. Right, now how it works. So for that purpose what we need to do, let me just do one thing. Let's create another folder named blocks like this, and inside the blocks I want to create another for, like, I want to handle multiple pages, right? So let's do one thing. Let's start with the basic only, right? Let's start with the basic. So simple rule for that is that you need to create another folder inside this blocks and put the name of that particular folder inside the square bracket like this. Inside the square bracket write the name of the folder. Let's say slug, right? Let's say slug. And inside this slug, inside this square bracket folder, what you need to do, you need to create that particular file. And what's the name of that file? That name of the file is page.js or the jsx. Let's create the jsx, not js, right? Now here in the page.jsx, what I will do is that I will write here RAFCE, and I'll write this is a dynamic blog page. Okay, okay. Now what it means. So let me just take you first through the blocks. So if I just come here and I write slash blocks, so you'll find that I'm not having anything because I've not created any page for slash blocks. But if I just create like this block slash one, so here you will find that I'm getting a page here. This is a dynamic blog page. Now let's do one thing. Let's it's my mistake that I have not created a page for the blog, right? Let's keep the thing clean, right? Blog page like this. Fine. So let me start from the starting. That first we are having a home page. Now if I go to the blogs, so this is my blogs page. Now after that, if I go to slash one, I'm getting this dynamic blog page here, right? And why this is dynamic? Because if I have written one here, if instead of one, if I write two here, even then also I'm getting the same page. No matter what number, what value I write here, anything which you want. After the blogs, if I write this, even then I'm getting this page, right? Because at that time, if I put a square bracket with the folder name, if I put a square bracket with the folder name, this will do what? This will do what? This will take the value after that particular parent route, right? And will send it to the params. Will send it to the params. What it means? So let me just show you that also. So if I go to this, like we are having this slug, right? And we are having this page.jsx here. Now inside this, if I just write params, right? And if I simply just go and print it console.log params, and I come to this inspect, right? What happened? It is showing some sort of error. Okay, the error is that I need to convert this page to async. I need to make it asynchronous and make this params as await, right? Like this. Now if I just reload the page once, you will find that I am getting a slug here, and this slug is what? This slug is a key, and whatever I have written after the blocks, right, is present as a value here, is present as a value here. That means that with the help of this square bracket, after this block, whatever I have written, right, is now carried as a key and value. The slug is a key now, and whatever after the block is present is a value now, right? Is a value now. So if I write here, let's say 123, so here you will find that the slug is now 123. Slug is the key, and your 123 is what? 123 is the value, right? So this is how we create our what we say as a our dynamic route, right? So if we want to use this particular value here, so what we need to do is that simply just put a curly bracket, and after that write params dot this slug. Why slug? Because we have written this slug inside the bracket, right? If we put this name as id and like a square bracket, inside the square bracket if I write id, at that time I can use params.id. Very simple, very simple, right? But since we are having this slug here, that's why I have written here params.slug. Why? Because params is giving me this a slug, right? Now what is happening? Why I'm getting an error here? Okay, let me check. Mm-mm. Okay, fine, no problem. So let's do one thing. Let's take this value as like this const id, not id, it is slug, right? Slug equals to params, right? And make it await like this. Now if I just use the slug here, it will work. It should work. Okay. So here you can see that now if I am just changing anything on the top, let's say this, pressing enter, so you can find that value here, right? So that means you are transferring your route value to your page, right? To your page. So this is how we handle the dynamic routing in our Next.js. I hope you understood the concept that how dynamic routing works. Now we can do this for the multiple dynamic segments, right? For that purpose, what you need to do is that simply just start creating more square bracket folders inside this slug, right? So the number of square bracket folders that you create, the number of dynamic segments you can handle, right? So it will be very easy for you if you explore it at your own, right? You will get a better understanding of this, and we will use it in the further videos, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that what are the nested dynamic routes and how we create it in Next.js, right? So before starting, let's see few things which can make your concept very much clear, right? So here what I'm doing is that I'm on the blocks folder, right? Blocks folder is creating a route, right? Is used for creating routes. We have already learned about it. Now inside of this we are having this page.jsx, and this is a very simple code inside of it. Now if I write props here on the top, right? So if you have worked with the React.js, you may have this idea that props are the properties which are transferred from the parent component to the child components, right? Now if I simply just print here console.log and props, and let's write here await first, like this. Okay, so you can see that I have printed this prop. So let's see that what properties I'm getting with every particular route, right? So if I come here and reload the website, so here you will find that block page props are this object, and what this object is containing a param and a search params, right? Now what is this params? Params basically contain the URL path value, right? The value from the URL path, and search params contain what? The value after question mark in the, like this, question mark in the URL, right? Okay, so if I just simply destructure it and write it in this way, that params and search params, right? And then I write here console.log block page param is await params, and console.log block page search param equals to search param, like this. Fine. Okay, if I just save it and come here, so this time I'm not having anything. But if I just do one thing, here the param is blank and search param is also blank. Now if I just mention question mark here and write something like this, like let's say that color equals to black, right? So here you will find that this search param is showing me color equals to black. Why I'm getting this? Because I have written this question mark on the top in the URL path, and after that I have mentioned something. If I just write here question mark color equals to black, and let's say price equals to 5,000, right? And if I press enter, you will find that in the search param I'm getting this color black and price 5,000. So from the URL path, with the help of search param, I got the things which are written on the top, right? In the URL, basically the values. And talking about the params, then why it is blank? Well, it helps to take out the value of the URL path. So how we take out that? Now the whole task depends on this params. This search param is just for your idea that how it works. Now we are going to work with this params. So Let's do one thing. Let's create a nested route. So for that, we will come to this blogs, and here I'll create a folder. What will be the name of the folder? We will create a square bracket first, and inside of it, I'll write ID. I'll write ID. And inside this ID, I will create a page.jsx like this. And here I'll just paste all the thing from here to here. As you can see, this is the blog page, right? Okay. Now I'll write here blog page ID like this. Fine. Okay. So here, if I just come to my website, and if I just simply write here /12345 and press enter, right? Okay, it is taking time. Fine. So here you can see that inside the params, I got this ID. Simply, I got this ID. Why I got this ID? Because it is giving me the value of the URL path. And when you put this square bracket thing, right, this slug here, that then you simply get that particular value inside of this ID into this params. Fine. Okay, fine. Okay, this is done. Now, how I can create the nested then? So for that purpose, you can do what? That inside this ID, right? Let's say that, let me give you the example. Let's say I'm having this blog, and right, blogs, and then I'm having some ID with, let's say, 123, and then I'm saying that comment, right? I want the comment of this particular blog, or if I want the number of likes, so if I write blog 123 slash like, or I want let's say shares, right? So these all things if I want, so what I can do, if I should I create a separate for everything? No, I'll not do this. I'll do what? I'll simply create another folder inside of it, and put a square bracket, and let's write here slug like this, and create a page.jsx for it. Page.jsx for it. Page.jsx for it. Right? And if I write here the same thing, right? If I write here the same thing, fine. Okay. Now this time I'll do what? After 1 2 3 4 5, if I go and write here comments, so you will find that here inside the param I'm getting a ID and then this slug. Why I'm getting ID and slug both? Well, you are inside of like inside of two different folders, right? And both are what? Both are these are in the square brackets, right? So that's why it is taking out all the, basically if you have idea about the URL, right? So you can guess it from here, that blog. What I'm doing here is that ID slash slug. I'm having the things like this. Right? That's why it is taking out this ID and slug both, because these two are the URL path values, right? That's why. So I simply got these two things. Now, if I want to use it now, so I will simply just do what? I will destructure this param, right? I'll write here const curly bracket and ID comma slug equals to await params, right? Now here I'll use it blog page for ID and slug. So whatever the value I'm getting from the URL, right? I am taking them as a part of my website, right? I'll simply just go and check now. So you will find that blog page for 1 2 3 4 5 and comment. So both the thing from the top is now visible here. So we can use it to build the complete our website, right? This complete layout of our this particular page. So this was just a information that how we can use the nested routes, nested dynamic route. So this is how we create the dynamic routes, and this is how we use the nested work with it, right? How we apply nesting. So this is what the main agenda of this particular lecture. I hope you understood the concept that how we use the nested dynamic route in Next.js, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to talk about the catch-all routes, right? So far, we have learned about the nested routes and dynamic routes. But the question is that what if the URL depth is unknown or unlimited? For example, let's say we have this slash docs, and after slash docs, we can have slash guide also. Someone can write slash guide slash setup also, slash guide slash setup slash windows also, and it can go far beyond, like up to infinity. So, are you going to create a lots of folder to handle this? Right? Docs, then guide, then setup, then windows, and then blah blah blah. Right? Are you going to do this? No, it is not possible to maintain that. Right? It is impossible to maintain. It is not scalable and it is not realistic. Right? Then what should I do? What should I do? Well, to solve this, we have this catch all routes. Now, what is this catch all routes? So it is a one route that catches everything after a path. Everything after a path. So let's say that our path is this docs, and after that everything guide, setup, windows, everything will be catch up by the single route, right? Which is your catch all route. I know you are having some confusion here, but don't worry, everything will be clear with the example, right? But let's see some definitions or examples from here only. So if you see here in the example part, I'm having this slash docs and then slash anything. Anything means you can write anything after of it. Anything else slash docs slash abcd anything. This all can be handled with a one single page, right? One single page. Okay, now let's take the definition of catch-all routes. It uses a triple dot inside a square bracket. It collect multiple URL segments and return them as an array in the params. That means we are going to use the params here, right? And we are going to get these values after the path, right? As a array, right? Okay, so how we create the folder structure? The folder structure will be like this, right? So now let's take the example. So let's say we are inside this blocks, and let's come to the page.jsx. You can see our code is something like this inside of it. And now if I just create a folder named docs here, right? Inside the docs, I am going to create another folder whose name is what? Whose name is square bracket dot 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 three times dot and slug, like this. Okay, oh sorry, it should be a folder, not a file. Inside the docs dot 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 slug, like this. And here I will create a page.jsx. This page.jsx is inside the slug, right? Okay, fine. RFC, and here I got my template, and let's write here that is slug page, like this. Okay, fine. Right now if I just simply go to my website and if I write here slash blocks, let's say slash blocks, so I come to the blocks page. After that if I write here slash what was the name I put? Slash docs, right? Slash docs. So here nothing is inside the docs, but after the docs, if I write here let's say guide. So it is just loading. Okay, so here after guide, when I came to this, after docs I came to this guide, I got this slug page. Why not get anything for the docs? Because I have not created a page.jsx for the docs, right? For the docs path I have not created that page.jsx, but for anything after of it I'm having a slug page for it, right? I'm having a slug page. Let's say after this I write here setup. So for that the same page, everything will be same, everything will be same. I'll just get the value, whatever the value is written after the path, I'll get it in the form of params, inside the params, right? How I can get that? Well, it is very much simple to get this. You simply just need to come here and write a params here, like this. After that writing the params, what you need to do is write const slug equals to, this slug should be, okay wait, this slug should be inside the curly bracket because I'm going to get a object, right? Await params, right? Yeah. Now after this I'll do one thing, that is console.log and slug param as slug. Now I'll just save it, and when I'll come to this page and I inspect it, go to the console, and here you will find that the slug params is holding a array here. And what is this array is containing? It is containing two things, that is, one is guide and setup. As you can see from the top, this docs is the path, and after the docs I was having that bracket and three dot named folder, right? Yeah, so after that everything which is written, basically the guide and the setup, is the value that I'm getting inside my what params. This is called catch all route. It is catching all the route and giving me the value, as you can see from here. So I'm simply catching up all the routes. I'm simply catching up all the routes, right? So this is how we perform the catch all routes, that this is the path, right? Docs. And after that I have put this bracket. This name is very important, right? Bracket three dot and then the name of your bracket. I have written it as slug, and then inside of this I'm having this page.jsx, right? For this, for docs, if I create for docs, let's say I want to create a page.jsx, and here I'll write rfc and docs page. So yeah, it will work now. It will work now. If I just come to here to this slash docs, so you will find a docs page here. And after that, if I've written anything, 1 2 3 4 5, right? So you will find this slug page, and along with that I will get the array also, right? Slash 1 2 3 4 5 6, like this. So you will find the slug page and the values here. So it is simply catching up those routes, right? And it is giving me a simple the page that I have created, right? Now let's say I don't create this particular page.jsx here for this docs, and I'm saying that what you do is that simply just rename it to double bracket, right? Now let's save it and let's do one thing, that let's not call anything from here. mm, let's remove these all things from here, right? Fine. Now what I will do is that simply when I come here to this docs, so what is happening is basically is I'm getting something wrong here. Okay, fine. I just simply need to do what? I need to restart my app. So npm run dev, starting, and ready. Okay. So here you will find for the docs. Now this time I am getting the same slug page for the docs. You can see I'm getting this slug page for docs this time. Earlier I was not getting that, but this time I'm getting this page.jsx for this docs. And if I just go forward and I just write here, let's say slash 1 2 3, right? Anything afterwards, even then also I'm getting the page. So what is happening here is basically this is called the optional catch-all routes. For the optional catch-all routes, we simply do what? We just double put the double bracket here. By putting the double bracket, what is happening that this catch-all route is not on, is now optional. So for your path, the path is for the docs, right? Which is having this page.jsx. Now this docs can also use the page.jsx, which is inside this slug, because this is optional. So this page.jsx is also open for this docs now. But if I just simply put it inside a single bracket, then this will not work. This will not work. You can, okay, I just need to reload it every time. I don't know why it is showing me an error. Make it ready. Yeah. So now if I just reload it, you will find that for docs slash 123 it is getting me the select page, but for the docs I'm not getting this any page because I'm not having page.jsx for it, right? So that is the use of the optional catch-all route. So it is also one of the concept which you need to understand, that what is catch-all route and what is optional catch-all route, right? So I hope you get the understanding that how we work with it. And this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we are going to learn about the reusable layout in Next.js, right? So in most of the website, you may have seen that there are some part that never changes, right? These are like navbar, sidebar, footer. So on any page, if you go, these are the things which remain same for all the pages. So does it mean that we need to create it for every page? No, we don't do that. We simply write the code for them at once and use it again and again for every page. Now, how we do this? Well, we do this with the help of the reusable layouts, right? And that's what we are going to learn in this particular lecture. So let's start, let's begin. So here you can see this is our page.jsx file. This is the home page file basically, right? And it is written that welcome to my channel. Let me show you so you can see welcome to my channel. Okay, fine. Now, here if you come to this layout.js, so here you will find that it is a root layout, right? So we are having this children here, and the same children is written here also, right? Now, you can see here that this is welcome to my channel is written on the page.jsx file, page.jsx, right? Okay. Now, what I will do is that I will simply just remove this children from here, and let's say I have written like and subscribe like this. Fine. Yeah. So after writing this, you will find that I'm getting like and subscribe here, not the content which is written on my home page, which is welcome to my channel. So is this a home page or is this a home page? Which is a home page? Tell me. Actually, this is my home page, but the content of this home page is actually coming to this layout.js. So this is the root file. This is the file which is managing, which is taking out all the files and showing it on your browser, right? So it is taking those pages which you create manually, right here, and showing it as a part. So now here, if I write children, so you will find that welcome to my channel is present here. And in case if I just delete this layout.js from here, and if I try to run it, so you will find I'm getting an error because it is saying that the missing HTML and body tags in the root layout, right? So it is not getting that layout.js file here, and that's why it is giving me an error, right? Now if I save it and again, so yeah, it is working now. So you understood, right, that there is a layout.js file already when you download the Next.js app, but how we create it at our own. So I'll give you a small example. After that, everything will be clear. We don't need a very lengthy video for it. So let's say that this is our folder name blogs. Inside of this, I'm having this animal and this fish here, fish folder, right? Okay, fine. So if I just go and write here blogs, sorry, blogs. So you will find a blog page here. Now, after that, if I write here animal, so you will find an animal page here, right? Now, what I want that here on the blog page, I want a header, I want a footer also. I want both the things. But there is a thing that a blog page can have multiple different routes like animal and fish, and there could be other like insect and other, right? So how I can do that? Well, for that, simply come inside the blogs folder and create a one more file that is layout.js like this, right? Now here rfc, and what I will do is that simply I'll take the children from here, the same which we have seen in the root layout, right? And put that children here also. inside the return, right? So in the curly brackets, right? Okay, done. Fine. Okay. Now, if I write anything here inside this layout.js, let's say h1 blog layout, right? Okay. So now, fine. What happened? Is anything wrong here? Let's save it again and let's test it. We are on our home page /blogs. Okay. So blogs is showing me a blogs layout. And if I go and check for animal, so you will find that blog layout is also present for the animal page also, right? So we have created this or have written this blog layout inside this blogs, but it is available in all different routes, which is attached with this path of blogs, right? How? Because now we can use it anywhere and anytime. These are this layout.js has now become reusable, right? And with that also, or with that, we actually create these headers and footers, right? So let's say that I'm having this h1 here, right? And inside the h1 I have written this header and I create the footer, and in between of that I just put this children, which is the content of this page, right? The content of the page.jsx from anywhere. This content is coming to this particular children and it gets stored in between the header and footer. Now the whatever the page that you will visit inside the blogs, right, you will find that the main content which is present in the page.jsx will be in between the header and footer, because we have created the layout like that, right? Now if I just style it here, let's give a style as background as let's say yellow, like this, right? And same for the footer also, same for the footer, background as let's say red, like this, right? Now if I just go there, and you will find the header and footer here, and the content is in between of them. The content is in between of them. Any route I'll go with the blogs. Even on the blog also, you can see the blog page is in between header and footer. So this is how we do the reusable layout work, right? We simply just create it at one place in the layout.js file, and that thing repeats anywhere or on any path that I go, as it is taking all the particular route or path as a children, right? And taking that page as a children, and with the help of this layout.js we simply design the complete layout of the page, right? Yeah. So this is all about today's video. I hope you understood the concept very clearly. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this part of the lecture we are going to talk about that how to use private folders in Next.js. So as your project grows, right, let's say that you are working on a big project, so at that time you will create many files that are not routes, such as helpers, components, utilities, constants. These are all such files which I don't want to use as a route, right? But the app router will turn these folders into the routes by default, because you know that if I am creating a folder name about here, so automatically it will be converted into a route, right? Next.js app router will treat it as a route. This blog will be treated as route. This animal, fish, everything, contact will be treated as what? As a route. So at that time, if I want to create any folder where I want to put some files, right? But I don't want that folder to be treated as route, then what should I do? What should I do? So the solution is private folders, right? These private folder tell your Next.js that do not treat this particular folder as a route. It's as simple as that. Now, what is a private folder? So a private folder is the folder whose name, basically the name starts with a underscore, and is ignored by the routing system. The routing system which treats the folder as a route. Now that system will ignore this particular folder because it is starting with underscore, right? It is only used for organization. Fine. Now the basic private folder syntax is all this. Okay, let me just take you through the examples, right? Okay, so let's say that I'm inside my app and I'm creating a folder name, let's say dashboard. Not dashboard, let's take it as information. Information, right? Information. Okay, fine. Inside of this, I'm creating a page.jsx like this, and here I'm putting RFC and something like information, let's say, right? Like this. Fine. Okay. So this information folder is there, but what do you think that how the app router will treat it? App router will treat it as a route, as you can see from here, slash information, and you will find an information page here, right? This is the information page, but I don't want to make this particular folder as a route. So for that, what I will do, I will simply rename it and put a underscore in the starting like this. As you can see, this underscore, press enter, and that's it. It is on the top right now. Right now, if I just save it and go again and check for the information, you can see the page do not exist. Even if I just search with the help of the underscore, right? If I put underscore in the start and again if I try, you will see that the page could not be found. That means this particular folder information is now converted into a private folder, right? Whatever you will put inside of it will now not be accessed or can be used as a route or the URL, right? So that's it. Even if you are having any folder, let's say this is about, right? This is about. Now inside of it, I want to create a folder, right? Let's say again, let's say about contains what? Phone number, right? Phone, yeah, phone. Okay. Now this phone and then page.jsx, let's say, and RFC, and I will do what? I will just put it like this. And if I just come here and I'll go for about, so you will see about page, and after that, sorry, if I just search for phone, you will see a phone page. But if I just put it like this, in the starting I put a underscore, right? And now if I save it and go again, so you will see now this phone do not exist, right? It is not public. It converted into a private folder even with the underscore. So this is how we actually create private folders in Next.js, right? It is mainly used for what? For the utilities, for the constant, for the components and all. So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the Metadata API in Next.js, right? So the moment you install the Next.js app, you will find two main files. One is page.jsx and the other is layout.js inside this app folder, right? Okay, now if you go inside the layout.js file, you will find this metadata here, and inside of it we are having two keys. One is title and the description, and the value is create next app and generated by like there will be something else I have written generated by Piyush Gupta, right? Okay, fine. Now what is this metadata? Have you ever tried to think about it? Well, if you go to your site, this one, right? So here this is my home page and it is written welcome to my channel. So this is the main content of my website, right? But there's something more which you need to observe, right? Here on the top, if you see here, it is written create next app. Now from where this create next app is coming? Well, it is coming from this metadata. As you can see, the title is create next app, right? So this helps to for the user to understand that what is going to be the content or the title of this particular page which he or she is referring or using, right? And what is this description? Well, description is for the SEO purpose or some social platforms, right? Because it helps the user to understand that what is going to be the content, right? It helps the browser to show the user that the content user trying to search is available on your particular site, right? If you can just come here and you go to the page source, right? You can check something is very like meshy and something is written here, but if you look here on the top, this meta, right, this meta here, let me zoom it, you can check the name, description, and the content is generated by Piyush Gupta. This helps the browser for the SEO purpose to make sure that the content of your website is relevant to the user search, right? So you give the description about the content of the site or the page, right? Okay, fine. Now let's come to some theory part and understand the theory section, right? So what is metadata first? So before writing any code, let's understand that what metadata actually is. So metadata is information about a page. It's not the page content, it is a information about a page, right? It tells us about the search engine, like sorry, it tells the search engine that what the page is about, right? Like what the content of the page is, it helps the search engine about that. It helps, or it tells the browser that what title it need to show, what title to show, and also tells the social media that how to prevent your link, right? How to prevent your link. Now, examples you see every day, some of the examples. So when you go on Google and search, then Next.js tutorial for beginner, learn Next.js step by step with example. So this is basically a title and description which comes from the metadata, right? When you go on the Google and search for the Next.js, you find a website which is written, where it is written that Next.js tutorial for beginner, and below of it there will be description that learn Next.js step by step with example. So this is the content which you are seeing on the site. How, from where it is coming? It is coming from the metadata of that particular site, right? Okay, now why do we need metadata? So now the question is that why do we care about this? Like, why I want the metadata? Well, without the metadata, all the pages will have the same title, the create next app. Try to understand, right? Which will make it very bad SEO ranking, right? Ugly link previews on WhatsApp and LinkedIn, and hard for search engine to understand your site. So that's why your metadata is very important, right? And in the real world requirement, in real application, home page have different title, blog page have different title, blog detail have dynamic title. So we require the title for every single page that we are using, right, on the site. So if I'm having multiple pages for the contact, for the blog, for the sales, for the other, right, for every page there are different title and different descriptions. That's why it is mandatory in production apps. And now what is metadata API in Next.js? So metadata API is a built-in way in Next.js to define the SEO related information for a page or layout. Important point is that no head tag is needed, no extra library is required. It works automatically and server side by default, right? Okay, fine, done. The theory part is done. Now let's move on to understand that how we can create our metadata for the pages that we are using, right? Okay, fine. Now if I come to this page.jsx, so this is my home page. For this the layout.js is containing the main task that it has this title and description. But now if I want to create this metadata for my about route, right, about URL. So for that purpose, what I can do, I can simply do one thing, that I will just copy this thing from here and go and paste it here. But before that, let's see that what I'm getting when I'm going to the about slash about here. So here you can check about page, and on the top the title is create next app, right? Now after that, if I just paste it here, and for this particular about page, the title will be about page, and this description will be, this is the page description, right? About page description, fine. Now if I simply go and reload, you can find on the top that Now the title has changed to about page. From the create next tab, it is now changed to about page. So this is how we change the title, right? Okay, fine. So you understood that how we create the title and description for every page. Okay, great. Now let's talk about the dynamic route. In dynamic route, we basically don't know that what will be the name or the slug, right? What will be the value of the slug, right? Let's say that we are having this block. Inside of this we are having this slug, right? This is the dynamic route, and here this page.jsx has some content. So if I just go on the blog like this, so I'm getting this create next tab. Okay, fine, no problem. I can change that with the help of the page.jsx file of the blocks, right? But if I just do one thing, if I after this blocks, if I write here 1 2 3 4 5 or anything, like let's say comment, if I press enter, so you will find that it is giving me a content for this particular route. So here blog is present, comment is present. Even if I put like, then also the title is same. But I want that when the title will be like, when the URL will be like, then give me the like page. When the title will be comment, then give me the comment page as the title. Then how I can create that? Well, for creating that, we can simply do one thing. Now I'm going to explain that to you, right? We are going to make the use of the params. So kindly pay attention. Okay, let's start. So I'll write here export async function, and let's write here the name of the function, that is generate metadata, right? So one important thing, that kindly pay attention to this name, right? Because it is very important that you put the same name there, and inside of this we have put this params, right, in the curly bracket. Okay, fine. Now inside this, let's write the main content of it. So to return, put a curly bracket, and here the title will be blog, right? Blog plus, okay, I think let's do one thing. Let's take the value first. So I'll write here const slug equals to params dot slug. Const slug equals to params dot slug, and after that I will add this title and description. So title is blog, and then this value of slug, and description is read blog about this slug, right? Okay, fine. So this is how you create the metadata for this particular dynamic page, right? After saving it, now let's go and check for this like. Okay, I'm not getting anything. There must be a some mistake, maybe. Okay, fine. So there will be a await, right? There should be await. Okay, fine. Now if I just go there and I reload, still there is nothing. Okay, let me check. Okay, so it's my bad, I'm so sorry. So it should be, this slug should be in curly bracket, and let's remove this thing from here, params dot slug, right? And let's keep it params. Now if I just use it, I think I should get the right result. And yes, you can check. Now the title is blog like, right? So now whatever you write here, let's say except this like, if I write here comment, so you will find that now it is showing me blog dash comment, right? So this is how we handle the metadata for the dynamic pages also. Fine. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept, that how we use the metadata API in Next.js and what is it use cases, and how we created for the static and the dynamic pages in Next.js, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how we can create our manual not found page in Next.js, right? So you may have seen that when you enter any wrong URL, you get the default not found page in Next.js. Let's say this is my page, right? And if I go on some random URL, let's say something like this, And if I press enter, you will find this particular page. This is the page which is provided by the Next.js by default, right? Now I want to create my own. Then how I can do that? Well, it is very easy. You simply just need to come on your app, and inside this app folder you need to create a new file. Just come on this app first, then create a new file named not-found.js. Make sure the name should be correct. Not-found.js. Press enter. Now inside of this you can create your own not found page. Let me create that. So yes, this is my not found page, right? A very common and very little, right? You can create your own anything that you want. Now let's just save it and go again to our site like this. And what happened? The default export is not a React component slash not found and then not found. Okay, let me see. Is there anything wrong? Okay, no problem. Let's do one thing. Let's restart the app. Npm run dev. Okay, it is now ready. And now if I just go again, yeah, it is working now. Fine. So localhost 3000. After that, when I go on some random URL, this time you can see that I'm not getting that same default not found page which was provided by Next.js. This is my own, right? You can see how beautiful it is, right? So this is how we create our own personal not found page in Next.js. I hope you get the concept that it is very easy to do. You just need to come inside this app folder. Inside of this you have to create this not found.js file, and here you can create whatever the page UI you want to create, right? Okay, so this is all about today's video. I hope you get this concept. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hi everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to talk about the route group in Next.js, right? So before starting, let's understand that what is routing. So past many videos I'm explaining you that routing is done in Next.js with the help of the folder structure, right? On the basis of the name of the folder and the folders inside a folder, these all creates the route in Next.js, right? Okay, now moving forward and understanding the route group. Now what is this route group? Well, it means that when you want to arrange or organize files or different folders inside another folder, but you don't want to create a URL path for it. I want that one more folder will be there inside of which I want to store certain folders which are creating a route, but I don't want the folder which is holding other folders act as a route. What it means, it sounds quite disturbing, right? Confusing. Okay, no problem. Let me take you through the example. Okay, just a second. Yeah, so as you can see here, I'm having a login and a sign up folder. Now what these folders are doing, okay, as you can see here, this is the login slash login. It is giving me the page.jsx file content of the login folder, right? And if I do it like sign up, at that time what will happen? It will give me a sign up page, right? This is coming from what? This is coming from page.jsx and these folders basically, right? Now if I want to create a folder, I want to store them. Let's say there are many part folders, many route I want to create. I want to create 20 different route. So do you want to create 20 folders here? No, right? I want to bundle them. I want to organize them. So how I can organize them? I can organize them in a way that if inside this app I create a folder named auth, let's say, and inside this auth, if I put these two folders. So yeah, now if I come to my folder or my code, I can understand that all the routes which are regarding the authentication are inside this auth folder. But the problem is now that it has totally created problem with my past route structure. Why? Because now on the slash sign up, I'm getting this page could not be found, or on the login it is showing me that the page could not found. Why? Because you have disturbed the routing. Now here auth is also acting as a route. So if I write here auth and then I press enter, so now here you can see I got this login page, but I don't want this auth. I don't want this auth. This is only for my understanding. I don't want to use it, right? So for that purpose, we use this route group. And how it is done? It is simply done with the help of a parenthesis in the starting and in the end. Now if you press enter, so yeah, it will take time because you are changing the complete structure, right? So here you can see that the name of the folder is now changed, right? So this is auth folder with a parenthesis. Now if you go and search for this slash login and press enter, so now you can find this login page here. That means the URL path or the route which was created by the auth folder is now removed. Why? Because we put a parenthesis to it, right? So a parenthesis converts a folder route into a route group, or we can say that we can group different routes inside a folder which is not acting as a route this time, right? And this can be done with the help of this parenthesis. That's it. This is a simple concept, but many people get confused that what are the use of this parenthesis. It is just removing the route path and creating a for it is basically used for grouping different routes, right? So this is all about today's video. I hope you understood the concept very clearly, right? So thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hello everybody, in this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we can integrate and configure the Tailwind CSS in Next.js. Right, it is very easy, very simple to do. Just follow the step which I am going to tell you in this whole video, right? So yeah, let's start. So for integrating the Tailwind CSS, we first need to go to the website of the Tailwind CSS, right? So let's go to the browser and search for Tailwind CSS, right? So yeah, this is the site of Tailwind CSS. Now here in the docs, in the top there's a docs. Simply click on it, and when you click on it, here it is giving some documentation for the white, but I want for the Next.js. For that purpose you come to this framework guides. As you can see here, now here you will find all different frameworks, and we are working on the Next.js, so simply click on the Next.js here, right? That's it. Now just follow the procedure it is telling us. So here on the second point it is saying to install it, so yes, I will simply copy it and let's create another terminal. Come on. Okay, let's paste it here. So yeah, it is pasted. Now as you can see, the npm install tailwind css and the post css, and press enter, right? Now till it is installing, let's do the other part also. So here you can see that it is saying to configure the post css plugin. So you simply need to go to the post css.config.mjs file and copy this thing. So just copy this, and here you can see in the last post css.config.mjs, simply come here and paste it like this. That's it. Got it? Okay, fine. Now after pasting, you come to the global.css and copy this and paste it there also. So global.css is here. As you can see, just go here, and here on the top it is already imported. Okay, let me just rewrite it again here. Done, right? And now what you need to do is just start your app. Okay, fine, it is already started. So here in the page.js, if you can see how it is looking, let me just show you. It is here. It is looking like this on the home page, right? Welcome to my channel. So what I'll do is that I'll change the color or apply certain css. So class name is let's say text red 400 and text excel, sorry, font excel. I think it's text excel. I'm so sorry for my bad. Yeah. So now if you come here, so you will find welcome to my channel here, right? So the color is changed. That means the CSS is successfully applied with the help of Tailwind CSS. Fine. So this is all about today's video. I hope you understood the concept that how we apply Tailwind CSS. Now there is another thing which is global CSS and our component based CSS. I will tell you that in our next lecture. So stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the difference and the use of global CSS and the module CSS. Right now, what is this global CSS is all about? So as you can understand it from its name, that global CSS applies globally. That means to the entire application. So as it is written that global CSS applies style to the entire application and is used for reset styles, body styling, font, variable, layout, tailwind imports. Right. So where to define the global CSS? Well, if we are using the app router, normally we use app router basically, right? So inside the globals.css, if you come here and here you can find the globals.css, right? So whatever you will write here, whatever the CSS property that you write here will be applied to the entire application. So if I just show you my app, so you can find, right, this is the home page, right? Simple, nothing is there, just text is there, that is welcome to my channel. The background is white. Okay, fine. Now if I write here that, let me just do what, that let's take it globally, right? So if I just put it like this, that bg background color black, and let's say height is some 100 vh, and width is screen, or let's take 100 VW, right? Now if I come here, so you will find that the background is now black. Now if I go to any route, any particular route, let's say for the login, even there you will find that the background is what, the background is black. Even though if I just write here the text color, I think it's just color, right, and take it white, so we'll find that the text color is changed, and it is changed for all the routes, right, as you can see here. So this is how we work with the global CSS, right? It applies to the entire application. So you can also take it from here. Let's do one thing, let's copy it from here, right? And let's write it like this. Now here also, if I just save it and go again to my page, so yeah, as you can see the font style is now changed, right? So actually we have applied a CSS property. Fine. Now moving forward to an important rule, that is global CSS must be imported once. You cannot import the global CSS every particular component. No, it is not allowed, right? If we are having this global CSS, so if you come to the layout.js, you will find that global CSS is imported here, not in the page.js, right? It is imported only once, that is inside the layout.js, and that's it. You need not to import it inside the login and the sign up separately, right? So remember this important rule, otherwise you will get an error. Fine. Okay, now coming up to the next part, which is CSS modules. Now what is this CSS modules? CSS modules provide locally scoped CSS to specific component. So let's say that we are having a global CSS, there whatever the CSS property we define is applied to all the or the entire application, right? It is imported only once. But let's say that I want to create a separate CSS or the separate CSS file with the particular folder or the route, right, or the component on which I am working. Let me read it again. That is, CSS module provide locally scope CSS to specific component. If my particular component want a CSS, I don't want to mix it with the global CSS. because it will make that particular file very messy and very lengthy, right? So this module CSS protect from what? The class name conflicts, style leakage, and the large messy global CSS. This point is very important. Class name conflicts, right? Two different component file we are creating, and we are having the same name, same class name there. And since if we define the CSS property with that particular class name in the global CSS, what will happen? That both will get the same property. But what if we want different properties for different component with the same class name, right? So there the CSS module is being used, right? So how we can create it? Well, we can create it by using .module.css. Okay, let me take an example. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let's copy it. Yeah. So what I will do is that simply I'll do one thing, that I will create a folder and name it button. So I'm creating a route basically, right? Folder creates a route. Inside of this, I'm having this page.jsx file, and here I'm writing like this. Fine. So here, what I will do is that I will create a button. Fine. Okay, no problem. So for that purpose, I will do what? I will create a button, and that's it. And inside of this, it is written that click me. Fine. Now to create the module CSS, simply you need to create a file, that is button.module.css. As you can see here, button.module.css. Now inside of this, you can write your CSS. So I have written the CSS like this, right? For the button class name, the background color is black, color is white, padding and the border radius is given. Now let's do one thing. Inside this page.jsx, now import it. So I will do what? I will import the button.module.css, right? And inside this particular button, I will do what? I will add this class name of button. Now this is going to do what? It is going to take out the CSS properties from this button module.css, right? So for every component, for the login page, for the sign up page, you can create its own module CSS. Now if I just simply go, so here you can see that the CSS properties are not applied to this button. Why? The important question is why? Because there hides a very important concept. Here you can see that I have imported this module.css file in the way the global CSS was imported here. But this method is wrong. You cannot import it like this. You have to import it in a way which I am going to do it now. That is, import styles from. Now you have to write it in this way: import styles from button.module.css, right? And the other part is that when you are going to apply the CSS, right, or the class, inside the class, if you are going to write the class name, make sure that you write here styles dot css, and rather than using this annotations, you just write here curly bracket, right? So this is the way to write the module CSS inside a particular component. This line is important and this line is important, right? Yeah, so this is the way. Now if you come here, so you can find that now our CSS is successfully applied. Got it? I hope you understood the concept very clearly. And this is the complete lecture, and this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hi everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we can apply multiple fonts in our Next.js, right? So we are on our page.js file, which is the home page file, right? And this is how it looks. Just welcome to my channel, that it's okay. So yeah, now to apply multiple fonts, you need to first import multiple fonts from the Google Fonts, right? How we do that? Simply just write here import. After that, put a curly bracket and write the name of the fonts, that is, let's say Poppins, comma, let's say Roboto, right? From next slash font slash Google. That's it. Now after importing, you have to give certain configurations. What are that? Let's say for the pop-ins, you need to write here const, give a name. Let's give the same name, that is pop-ins, right? Equals to, now use this pop-ins which you have imported, right? So pop-ins like this, and after that put a curly bracket, and inside of it you need to first give the subsets. So subsets is what, not equals to, should be colon, and here put a square bracket, and inside of this write Latin, right? After that put a comma and give a weight. Let's the weight be, what happened, yeah, let's the weight be 400 comma 700. That's it. That's good, right? Now after that, after this pop-ins, let's write const roboto. Let's do one thing, let's copy whole thing and paste it here, and let's write for the roboto like this, and name it roboto, which we have imported like this. And let's keep this thing same. Let's do one thing, let's keep it 400 just, right? So yeah, subset and weight, that's it. So you have created the configuration for this pop-ins, right? And now we are going to use this pop-ins and roboto. Okay, so for using them, what I will do is that I will simply just write here class name as, let's give the padding 10 first, right? Okay, let's remove this from here, and here I'll write h1, and after that let's give a paragraph, and the paragraph is having something lorem 30, that's it. And this h1 is having some lorem 5, right, like this. Okay, fine. So if you just go and check your page, you will find something like this, right? Okay, so now what I will do is that simply inside the h1 I will say that the class name is equals to poppins dot class name, and not inside the annotation but inside the curly bracket, right, like this. Got it? Now same thing is that you have to apply the same thing for the roboto also. So I'm going to apply the roboto in the paragraph. So for roboto I will write here roboto, right? A small mistake that we have done here, kindly notice it, that this n should be capital, right? We write the class name in the camel letter, right? So that's why the name n should be capital, that's it. Okay, fine. So let's do it roboto here, yeah. So let's save it, and after saving, if you go here, so you will find that the subset Latin is coming here, right? And also the fonts get changed, you can see the difference. This is different and this is also different, right? Even if I just remove this one, so you can find the font is different, and when I will apply this, the font is different, right? So this is how we apply different fonts in a single page in Next.js. I hope you understood the concept, that how we work with it. If you don't want to create the subset, no problem, just remove this subset from here, right? There's no problem in that, just save it. And even if you go and reload now, right, so there's no problem with the subset here. So I hope you understood the language, that what is this concept is all about. So goodbye, take care. Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we are going to learn about the image component of Next.js, right? What is this, when we use it, and what are its special features that we are using this image component, right? Okay, so let's start. So we'll go to our Visual Studio Code, and here you can see I have written some code here. What is all about? Well, it is basic home page which is having a card in the center, and here you can see there's a avatar space, and here is the name, skill, and the role, right? It is mentioned. So what I want is to put the image in this circle. So how I can do that? Well, normally if you ever used HTML or have worked with the JavaScript, you may used img tag, right? But in Next.js, what we do is that we use this image, right? What we simply do is that we write here import image from next/image like this, right? So after doing this, we simply get image from next/image, right? Now after this, you can simply use it. So I want to use it inside the avatar circle, right? So I'll simply write here image, start from capital image, right? Like this. And inside of it, what I'll do is that src. Now for the src, if you check here, let me show you the documentation. So when we import image, right, we put the image tag. Inside of this, we mention the src. Now src the source to call for the picture, and here in the public folder you will find that avatar.jpg is present. So what I will do is that simply I'll write that name of the image, right? So just simply write like this and write the name. So name is avatar dot jpg, right? Yeah. So after doing this, what do you think? Will I get the image? Okay, let's check. Okay, right. So it is saying that we need to put alt also, right? So let's put it. So inside the alt, let's say profile. That's it. Okay, fine. Now if I go and check, so you will find that it is saying that image with src avatar.jpg is missing required width property. So it is very important to know that when you are using this image property or the image component, you need to use or mention the width. So let's say the width is 80. So now will it run? Will it work properly? Okay, let's check. So you will find that it is still not working. Why? Because it requires height also. So that means as it is given in the documentation also that you need to mention these two properties for sure, right? You need to mention the width and height. So here let's write the height also, right? Height is 80. Fine. And now it is done. So now if you go and check, so you will see that the image is finally placed on the avatar, but it is not proper. Okay, no problem. So for that purpose, what I will do is that I will mention some class name, and inside of it, I will write height full, width full, and rounded full. Let's check. Yeah, you can see it is now perfectly placed inside the avatar, right? Okay, done. So what does it make the change? The same thing is done by the img tag also. So what's so special? So let me tell you the speciality of this. So if you inspect and go to this image tag, sorry, or the image component, so this image component is actually creating img tag in the html, right? And here you will find that it is already using this loading. It is already mentioned that loading is present, width is present, height is present, decoding is present, and data image is also mentioned, right? So these all things are already present with that image component. We were not adding it manually, right? And even if you come and check it, right, if you check it, so you will find that the rendered image size is 80 into 80 pixel, even though the actual size was 256 into 306 pixel, but now the rendered size is 80 into 80. That means the image size is now reduced and optimized. Even if you check the file size, you will see that it is mentioned 8.5 KB. But if you check the actual size of that image, so let me just show you. So the actual size is 27.9 KB, but the size that we were getting here was just 8.5 KB. That means it has reduced the size of the image too, right? So this is how this image component helps in many ways. It provides you some default features, it reduces the size, it helps in the scaling, everything, right? So that's why we use the image component every time we need to put image inside our website, right? So this is all about today's video. I hope you understood the concept of using the image component in Next.js. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we are going to learn about that how we can build a navbar in Next.js, right? So for that purpose, first we need to go to this app, and here we will create a new folder named components. And inside this components folder, we will create a file that name is navbar.js, right? Yeah. But now this components folder will start working as a route, and we don't want that. So for that purpose, I will put a underscore in front of that. That's it, like this, right? So now if I go to my app and search for components, it is rendering, and you will see that there's no page exists, right? So that's why there's no route with such components, right? Okay, fine, now it is done. So inside this navbar.js, we will start building our navbar. So how we can do that? Well, it is very simple and very easy to do. And first of all, what we need to write is rafce, like this, right? And inside of this, let's remove this div and put a nav here. Fine, let's make this copilot silent for a few minutes. It disturb a lot. Yeah. So for the nav component, let's add some class. The class, let's say that is bg is gray 500 and text white. Yeah, it's good. Now here inside of this, let's build a div, and for this div, let's give a class, and the class is max width 6xl, and let's take the margin auto in the x direction, padding in the x direction as 6, padding in y as 4, and let's keep it flex and justify between items center. Good. Now inside this particular div, we will start building our navbar. So here first of all, we will take a logo, right? Logo, like this. So here first we need a logo. So what we will do, we are not going to use any uh, div or any other tag. We are simply going to use link tag, like this. And when you will click enter, you will find that import link from next slash link, right? Yeah. So here in the link, you need to write href, and let's remove this bracket and put slash. So basically when you click on the logo, you will come back to the home page, right? And here inside of this, let's give some class as text excel and font to be bold, right? Like this. Now okay, let's do one thing. Let's keep it inside like this, and here we will write the name. So let's give the name as my website, like this. Fine. So here we have created the logo part. If we check, it should look something. Okay, we have not imported the component. Okay, let's leave it for now. Let's build the navbar first. So here what we'll do is that the next part is desktop links right? Desktop links. And here let's create a div, and inside of that I need 4 link. Let's write link into 4. That's it, like this, right? In the first I need a home, right? In the next I need about, and again I need services, and after that I need contact. Okay, now inside this link let's add the class as, okay, let's do one thing for this particular, okay, I'll keep the thing same for all, right? So what I will do is that I will simply just click on this alt, yes. So by clicking on alt and after that clicking on every particular link, so it will work together. And now let's add the class name, and the class will be what? Class will be that on hover you make it text gray, let's take it 300, right? And that's it. I think nothing more is required. Let's come on this div and make it class name as hidden md flex and space x6, right? So these four are here now. So our all the like links are ready. Now important part is that for every particular link you need to write or give the particular route, right? So for the home it is just slash, for about slash about, for services let's add services, and for our contact let's add contact, like this. Yes, that's it. So after doing this, now we want to add this particular navbar component, right, to all the pages. So for that purpose you need to come to the layout.js, and here you will find that inside this body there is a children. So this children is basically taking out all the pages that you see, right? So for that purpose, to put the navbar on every particular page, we need not to go on every single page and add it manually, right? Just go to the layout.js and here import it on the top of the children. So navbar, like this, and that's it. So here your navbar is now imported. You can check, right? Let's save it and go to our site and let's reload it. And here you can find that on the top the nav bar is now present. Now on every single route you can see when I'm going over here, like I'm hovering over it, the color is changing, and when I click on this any of the particular sites and sorry link, you will find that I came to the about page now. And the important part is that the nav bar is still here. For any like services, you can see I came to the service page now, right? When I go to the contact, you can see I came to the contact page now, right? So this is how we build a nav bar in our Next.js. It's depend on you that how beautifully you design it and make the UI part, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture we are going to learn about a very important feature, right, and the functionality. So as you can see in my home page there is a nav bar. So if I go to about, so it took me to the about page. When I go to the services, it took me to the services page, and when I go to the contact, it took me to the contact page, right? So one thing you can observe that on all the pages this nav bar is constant. This nav bar is present on all the pages. Why it is happening? Well, it is happening because we have put this navbar component on the top of this children in my layout.js, right? So that's why this navbar is present on all the pages, all the routes, right? It will always present on the top. Fine. But what if I don't want this navbar to be present in my services route? I want that whenever I come to this services route, the navbar should not present. So how I can do that? Is it possible? Because we have already put it on the top. So is there any way that for any particular route this navbar stop working? It get hidden. Is it possible? So yes. So that's what we are going to learn in this particular lecture. So let's start. So for that purpose, first of all, we need to come to this layout.js where we have used this navbar component here, right? Now, here what we need to do is that simply just go on the top and import path name. So write import curly bracket, write path name, right? It should be use path name from next navigation. So it is coming from next navigation. So first of all, we need to go to this components, and inside of this, let's create another file named navbar wrapper, right? We need to create a new file that is navbar wrapper, sorry, .jsx. Now inside of this, we will create a wrapper component which is used for hiding the navbar. How we can do that? So first of all, we need to create a client side component. So right here, use client like this. After that, import inside of this, import the use path name from next navigation, and now import navbar from slash navbar from here, right? Okay, so two things is done. We first imported the use path name, second we imported the navbar. Now let's come to the main part. Export default function, and let's write the name of the function as navbar wrapper like this, right? Now inside of this, we will first do one thing, that is const, means this use path name, let's keep it inside a variable. So const path name equals to use path name like this. And now let's write all those routes which I want to hide, on which I want the navbar to be hidden. So I want it to be hidden for the services, right? So I write here hidden navbar route equals to, put a square bracket, and inside of this mention that particular route. So let's write that. So services. If you want for the contact, simply just put a comma and write slash contact also. It depends on you that how many you want. I just want for the services, so I'll mention the services here. Done. Now after doing this, if hide hidden navbar route dot includes path name, right, then return null. Got it? And after that, just write here return navbar like this. Yes. Okay. So what you understood from here, that first of all we took the path name. What is this path name? So this path name is basically this one, right? This one, this top, localhost 3000 slash services. So from there it is checking that whether that particular path name is including this services or not. right? From the path name, it is checking that it is including something which is written in the hidden navbar route or not. So yes, services is present here. So if it is present, then this will be true, and if it is true, then it will return as null, means nothing will be written. And if it is not true, in that particular case, the navbar will be written. Got it? So this is the logic. Now after doing this, what we need to do is that simply just come to your layout.js, and here what we'll do is that let's remove this navbar component from here and import navbar wrapper from component slash navbar wrapper. That's it. And after that, here just do one thing, is that now remove this navbar and import the navbar wrapper like this. Got it? Yes. Now let's check that whether it is working or not. So it is loading, and now you can see that for the services, the navbar is not present. But if I go to the home page, you can see that the navbar is present. For the about page, then the navbar is present. For the contact, navbar is present, but for the services, navbar is not present. It is like hidden from here. Why? Because of the logic that we put inside this navbar wrapper. So I hope you understood the concept that how we hide the navbar from a particular route in Next.js, right? And this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hi everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we pass props in Next.js, right? Okay, so if you take a look to our site, this is the basic site where it is having on the top that a navbar is holding nothing, right? And rest is completely plain. So we are on the home page, and here you can look that we are not having any code since here, but we are having a variable which is having an array, and array is having two different object. Each object is storing the properties of a card. So I want to create two different cards here, and these cards are having these details. So rather than creating those cards in the home page, what I can do is that simply create another component and pass these details from here to there, right? Okay, so let's do that. And passing of the details from home page to the component is done with the help of the props. The full form of props is properties, right? So that's why we are transferring the properties from here to there. So let's first create that particular component inside the components folder. So the name is product car.jsx, like this, rfce. Okay, done. Now here what we will do is that here we will take all those details, right? So what are the details? So the details are these, like title, price, image, and is in stock. So let's do one thing. Let's first, here in the home page, we will create or the use map. So products dot map, inside of this products, like this, not curly bracket but a parenthesis, and inside of this first call that product component that we have created here. So the component is product card, this. So you can see it is imported here, right? Yeah. So product card, and let's close it. And inside of this, let's give the key as this product, not products, it should be product. Okay, product dot, now key is what, id, right? And the title, here we are transferring the props, right? So make sure this is the component, this product card is the component, and these are the properties which I am transferring, right? Here the key is a name, and to that name this particular value is getting stored, right? Yeah. So title is what, title is product dot title, right? And the price, same for price also. Let's do it fast. So product dot price, right? And we want image also, so let's take image equals to product dot image, and we want in stock also, in stock equals to product dot in stock, like this. Yes, so from here you can see that I have create call the product card component, and inside of that I transferred all the properties. Now it's time to catch all those properties which are transferred. So to catch those properties, we need to come to the product card component again, and here on the top you can see after product card there is a parenthesis, right? Inside of that create a curly bracket, and here take all those properties like title that you want, title comma price comma image comma in stock, like this. Yes, so we want four properties, we have called those properties here also. Now inside this let's create that particular card. So let's do that. So first of all, inside the div let's give some class here. So class is holding a border, and let's make it rounded large, shadow md, and padding as 4 and margin as 72. Not margin, it should be width, right? Yeah, so here let's call the image component. I want image, right? So for that, right here image, and we will take the image from next slash image. I already made a video on this image component, that why we use image instead of img, right? Okay, so the source of the image component is what, is basically your this image which you are getting from here. So simply write image like this, that's it. After that, now we need to write alt here. So the alt is, let's take the title here, right? And width, let's give a width. So width should be, I guess, 120, and height is 80, right? Like this, and close it. Got it? Now after that, let's do one thing. Let's check first that how it is looking. Yeah, you can see it is visible here. Okay, fine, no problem. We will later deal with the sizes, but here let's do one thing. Let's give some class also. Class, let's say that the width is full, height make it 48, object cover and rounded medium. Yeah, now it is correct. Fine. Now after that, let's create the title. So for that, h2, and here I will write title. I took the title from here, right? Okay, now give it a class. The class should be that the text should be large, font is semi bold, right? And margin top is 3. Good. Now after that, let's create a paragraph, and inside the paragraph I will mention the price. So that price, let's keep it dollar here, and curly bracket inside of this, write price like this, right? And give a class. So the class is text blue 500, and font make it bold, margin top is 1, right? So now if you check here, see, yeah, it is looking good, fine. Now let's move forward, and now what we will do is that we will, it means we need to check that whether the product is in stock or not. So now we are going to use this in stock, right? So for that purpose, what we can do is that simply just create a paragraph here, and inside the paragraph, first of all, let's do some good work. You need to learn this, right? If you don't know about using this technique. So class name is basically put a curly bracket here, right? Curly bracket like this, then use a backtick. Now after using the backtick, now you write the CSS property, that is margin top is 1, and after that put a dollar sign, curly bracket, and here in stock like this, question mark, and then text green. So I'm checking that whether if the product is in stock, then the text should be in basically green color, right? Else text color will be red, right? Text color will be in red color like this. Got it? And now inside of this, we will mention that in stock question mark, if product is in stock, then the content will be in stock, else out of stock, right? Like this. Fine. Yeah. So if you check here, so you will find that we have created two different card here, and the card are having the image, title, price, and in stock or out of stock is mentioned here. Fine. And how we did this? Basically, we put the content in the home page, right? It is clean and clear, and we have created the code only for a single card component, and we have used these card component here and passed all the properties from the home page to that particular component with the help of the props, and later we called or took those props in the card component and used it inside our code, right? So this is how we pass the props in Next.js. I hope you understood the concept, that how we pass it, how we catch it, and how we use it. So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.